Your story might be the very thing someone needs to hear in order to keep going. Hi, I'm Shara, and you're listening to Life Stories. Good morning, friends. I hope you're enjoying your morning. It is chilly here today. Our house is insulated very well, and I don't turn the heater on too often because it stays, fairly warm, but I turned it on this morning. It is cold, very cold. Now, I'm in Texas, so anybody else is going to laugh at that. I'm not sure even what the temperature is. It's probably in the 40s, I would think. Let me see. Oh, it's 31. See, it legitimately is cold outside. But the sun's coming out, so that'll help. I wonder sometimes why I have the memories that I do. Like why certain things stick out in my head and then other things I don't remember at all. Like I'll look at my Facebook memories and I'll have conversations with people and I don't even remember who these people are. And I was friends with them on Facebook, which is weird. That sounds terrible. But I just don't remember. And then I can remember things from my childhood that, were 40 years ago. So it's just always been odd to me why certain memories stand out more than others. And I was thinking about something that happened to me. It was in 1997. And I've remembered this many, many times over the years. It was a very sweet little situation, but I want to share that story with you today. So, if you've listened to any of my podcasts or you know me, you know that I had my first child when I was 17. I was still in high school. So I was a very young mom. And I think back to that time, I had 3 kids in 4 years. And when I see a young mom out, like a really young mom like I was, and I looked even younger than I was. So I was 21 when I had my 3rd child, and I probably looked like I was, 18. And here I had 3 kids. When I see a young mom like that out, my first thought as a mom and a grandmother is I notice the things that she could probably be doing that would be more efficient or keeping her kids safer or healthier. Or I notice things now that I obviously did not notice when I was 17, 18, 19. And I think about the people that were around me, the older women that were around me during that time and what they thought about me. Because it's not that I was completely irresponsible. I tried to be a good mom. There's so many things I wish I could go back and do differently. But I know I made a lot of mistakes and I did a lot of dumb things, just because I didn't know better. And it wasn't like I was harmful to my children, but I probably could have done a lot of things better. So in 1997, my husband was in physical therapy school and we did not have a cell phone back then. I'm not even sure if we had the internet at this point. We lived in Alvin, Texas, which is south of Houston, and I had taken a Bible study. I was taking a Bible study in a church in Houston with a couple of friends, and these friends were people that I met through a mutual friend because we were all from the same hometown. When I moved to a new place, I love getting to meet new people. I'm not a person to walk into a room and, want to be everybody's friend, but every place that we've moved, and we've moved a lot, I've always been excited about meeting new people. And so before Aaron was in PG school, I found out about these 2 women. Their names were Pam and Kelly, and they lived close to where we were moving to. And so before we moved, actually, I think Aaron had gone to the school for something, and then I drove to one of their houses. They were so kind to me. They were older. They were probably 10 years older. So kind to me during that time because I just think about how I must have looked to them, I don't know. I know I probably did, well, not probably. I know I didn't have all my stuff together. And so the older I get and the more I think about this now, I appreciate their kindness to me so much. These were women who were established and had homes and jobs or their husbands had jobs and they knew what they were doing as moms and wives, and I was just starting out. And so I admired them so much for what they did. And I was taking this Bible study. It was a Kay Arthur Bible study, and I was on my way home from the church in Houston, and this was in the middle, like in July. I mean, it was in the middle of the summer, and I had my 3 kids with me, and I don't remember what road we were on, but it was a busy road, and it was on a curve, and the alternator went out in my car. And so I didn't have a cell phone, and I, kind of got the car pulled over, but here I am with 3 little kids in the heat of the summer. The car's not working, and I have no idea what I'm going to do. I remember us sweating profusely after sitting there for a while, and my daughter said, she must have been 5, I guess. She said, "I guess we're just going to stay here forever." Like, we're not going to stay here forever. So this man pulled up behind me off to the side of the road and got out of his car and came over to my car. And he said, "I'm so sorry. Are you okay? What's going on?" And I said, "My car won't start." And I think he must have tried to jump it. I think that's how he figured out it was probably the alternator, because it would not turn over at all. And he said, "Would you like for me to take you somewhere?" And immediately I was like, "No, not me and my 3 kids. You're not taking me to some, warehouse to chop us up into pieces." I didn't know this guy. I wasn't going to get in a car with him. And I said, "No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what I was going to do, but I was not going to get in a car with my kids and this man." He said, "Okay, I understand." He said, "I have a phone. Would you like to call somebody?" And I thought, thank you, Jesus. And so I called my friend Pam, who I had just left the Bible study with. And really, now that I think about it, I'm impressed that I remember her phone number, because I didn't have a cell phone to store it in. I don't know anybody's number anymore except for my kids and my husband. Everybody else is a name. So that's impressive that I remembered her phone number. But anyway, she answered, and I told her what happened. I told her where I was, and she said, "We are going to come get you right now." So the man, I don't remember his name, but he was very kind, and he waited with me until Pam got there. And then while we're waiting, we're talking about, the day, and it ended up his wife was in the same Bible study I was. So he was safe, or, I think he was safe, but he was very, very sweet, and I appreciated his kindness as well. So she got in her car with her little boy, and they came and picked us up, and she had a, big fancy SUV, big, real nice car. And so she picked us up, and this is what stood out to me. Number one, she wasn't fazed at all. Like, I was panicking, and I was upset, and I knew this was going to cost money, and it was kind of a hassle for us because the car was nowhere near my house. Anyway, not only was she not fazed, she was so sweet to come all the way over there to pick us up. She brought us home, and she had snacks in her car. And I know that sounds like a silly thing to remember, but I just was in awe of how prepared she was. I don't even think she packed those for us. I think she just kept them in her car because she had a son and she knew he would get hungry sometimes. The air conditioner was awesome because we had been sweating so bad sitting in the Texas heat in the car. She was just so prepared. And that memory has stood out to me all these years later. Over the years, I've thought about it as I grew up, because I was growing up as I was raising my kids. I mean, I was still a kid myself when I had my daughter. As I grew up, as I, became more mature and understood about life, and I was able to be more prepared for my children. And it's not about having snacks in the car. That's not my point of being prepared. It's just that she was prepared for what could possibly happen. And as you get older, you're able to do that. Teenagers don't think that way. That's just not. They think about what they want in the moment, and that's all they can think about. As I have remembered this situation over the years, I have just become more and more thankful for the kindness of this older woman. Not that she was old, but she was older than me, who had experienced more life and was there to not point fingers, not roll her eyes, not laugh at me, but to help. She was genuinely helpful, and I will always always be thankful for that. And now, when I go to the store and I see these young women, I do think, oh gosh, she needs to cover that baby up. It's too cold outside. Or, the baby's coughing and congested, and I hope she brought her to the doctor because that does not sound good, and that's what I think of as a mom and a grandmother. I don't judge her and look down on her because she's not doing what I think she should be doing. But it is my instinct to want to help and nurture. And I'm saying this to myself as much as I'm saying this to all the other women out there who are older and have been in those shoes when you're young and don't really know what you're doing and need help and need guidance. I want to be more aware of those young women. And it's not like I can go up to all these young girls in Walmart and offer to help them with their kids. But when I am able to, I want to step out and do that more. I want to be that prepared older woman who can offer advice, and maybe not even advice, maybe just a listening ear, maybe just a word of encouragement. Like, hey, you're doing a great job, Mom. Not looking down on anything that I see that she's not doing well or not doing right, but maybe I can offer some encouragement to tell her that she's on the right track, that she's doing the right thing, that she's doing a good job. These young women are not going to learn from people who are barking at them and telling them all the time what they're not doing right and how, they ought to be doing this instead. And nobody's going to learn that way. That doesn't encourage anybody. My hope is that all of us would become more aware and be willing to offer the grace that we were given. Because, my situation is my situation, but I'm sure you can think back to when you were younger and you probably didn't have it all together either. I don't think anybody does. Although my daughter's pretty awesome. She kind of does have it all together. But most people, most of us aren't perfect. We didn't do things right. So maybe we can offer a little more grace for those who are younger than us who need it. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a great day.